You guys, it's a Friday. It's a special Friday because not for the first time in the last 12 months, you have a new record in record stores.
We do.
That's such an exciting feeling. This one is particularly called With Love. It's so new that I don't have a copy of it to hold up. I have others, format agnostic. I've got With over here by my turntable. Um, but I'm excited that there's another Sylvan Esso project in record stores today. You want to tell me the tiniest bit about what it is?
Oh, with love, we basically brought our with band together to do songs from Free Love. In what month was it? It was like right after the record had come out, October.
Yeah.
Uh, really kind of a shining beacon of 2020 for
I think so.
in terms of being able to like hang out with friends and actually make music. It was
the only time
that we've gotten
we
to make
really
music.
got to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was so wonderful.
It was
so fun.
It was like it was the last of these 3 streaming shows that we did, and we knew we wanted it to be like go out with a bang and have it be special. But then it just turned into this whole other thing, and we were like, well, we should probably just release it. Like it'd be so much more fun if more people could hear it.
Exactly. It was too special to not have happen only one time behind a paywall.
Yeah. And I feel like our records are always kind of a snapshot of our lives in this moment anyway. We don't really do like themed albums. It's just kind of like what we were feeling like in this time. And this one in particular is like, it is this snapshot of this exact moment that I just want more people to be able to listen to.
Yeah.
That's a really great way of describing it. While I was thinking about this conversation that we're having, I started thinking about my history with Sylvan Esso. And to be clear and transparent, the 3 of us have never met. We don't live that far away. I am down the road in Raleigh. Yeah, look at her face. See, we've never met. I am down the road in Raleigh. I first saw Sylvan Esso, Hopscotch, 2013.
Whoa.
It was hot outside and you were playing in a concert hall with had air conditioning, and I sat down up front, didn't know anything about you, and Amelia, I think we were both wearing t-shirts and jeans, and it was amazing, and it was just the 2 of you, and I fell in love with your music, and I danced, and it was crazy. And then I saw you again at Hopscotch where you were on the main stage, which was a very different sort of thing. And then you mentioned the With Band. I was so fortunate last year to see you in Durham at a sold out show where I was still wearing a t-shirt and jeans. Amelia, you were pretty resplendent in your dress. But it was no longer just the 2 of you. It was big. It was a show. And that's the band you mentioned bringing back for this album, but there's kind of been a Sylvan Esso journey in between, obviously from 2013 when we all were, just scruffy and playing. But in November of 2019, the before times, you had a big band and you took them on the road, at least to 4 places that I know of. And that was your community. That was very clearly musicians who meant something to you. And I believe you were playing, you may have been thinking about songs from Free Love, but you were playing songs from your first 2 albums. So what was that community experience like, that band?
It was totally magical. There's a reason we brought them all back to do it again. That's the thing. When With happened, when we brought that big band out, we thought that was going to be a thing that we were never going to get to do again, because it was this group of people that like everyone's constantly touring. We're always on tour. Everybody has other gigs. Like getting everybody to do even those 4 cities was like so many stars aligning. And it felt like this totally magical once in a lifetime thing. And then one of the weird silver linings of the pandemic was that nobody was out. So we had this rare opportunity to like bring everybody back together again. And it's like we had to do it, because that first experience was like, it was just so much more than I think either of us thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
It felt like I got to see our own band through everyone else's eyes in a different way, which is a thing that I think is kind of a rare thing for a musician, for anybody really, to get to do.
Right. Well, I know, Amelia, you're in another project with other vocalists, Mountain Men or Mountain Man. Mountain Man. Corrected myself. There you go. But had you guys had a lot of experience playing with something that large? 10 pieces, right? The With band is.
Oh yeah, yeah. Definitely the first time I had ever fronted a band with traditional instruments.
Yeah. Oh. Well, you were in the Feist band.
Yeah, but I was a backup singer.
Yeah, totally.
It's different. It's different when you're like directing the energy.
Yeah, totally.
You know?
Yeah, I also think there was kind of a part of it that was like, neither of us had really done that before, and our band definitely had never really done it before. And I think when we started out, there was kind of this, like, we got a lot of like the, when are you guys gonna get a drummer kind of comments.
Rude.
Well, you know,
Rude.
Everybody has to say something. And we never really wanted to do that. And when we thought about ever bringing other people on, I think one of the benefits was we realized we had to go maximal. Like, we couldn't just bring a couple people on and use tracks. We right away were like, well, how many people would it take to actually do all of this live? And we just slowly figured out that was the number of people.
Yeah, on asking people because they were great at what they did and were a good hang.
Right.
Good hang is a crucial bit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that probably comes first. I mean, I would imagine like putting a band together, checking the resume is not as important as let's spend some 15 minutes in the parking lot and see if we want to kill each other. Yeah, I get that. So the With tour happened. It was fantastic. We've discussed that. And then there was an album planned of that, which came almost a year ago, but I mean, almost a year after With. But in the meantime, there was another straight up traditional new album. How far from the With concerts were you thinking and planning and putting this together? And how far into COVID were you? Although you're a band of two people, your pod is your band, you know, that you maybe had it easier than a lot of other working musicians in that you could put out an album because you were potting together. How far into COVID were you in the process of Free Love?
We were almost done with it. We were in LA mixing it.
Yeah, we were in LA mixing it when the first lockdown happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, even when we were in the With band, when we were doing the With tour, we were like halfway through.
Yeah.
Being done with Free Love.
Wow.
So we get to try out.
We tried out like 4 of the songs, I think, at those shows.
Yeah, a couple of the songs.
It was kind of this magical moment in making the record, though, because it was right after we like knew what the album was. Mm-hmm. It had kind of come into focus for us. And so having this kind of stepping back from that process and being able to like reimagine all of our work, or not even reimagine it, but just see it through our friends' eyes, like I think gave us a better perspective on our band and helped us realize like so many things. Like it mainly just showed us that our band wasn't something that we could really break. You know?
Yeah.
It felt like we could get really quiet, we could get really loud, we could get weird, we could get normie, we could kind of do all these different things and like go all the places that we naturally want to go, and it would all still feel like us.
Right. So you had this experience with the big band, which clearly for both of you was a first, and then you went back to making a record that was primarily the two of you. Did you find the way you did that changed at all? And when did you know, okay, Free Love is our record, and the last time we were with the With band, we were doing the first 2 albums. Are you forevermore going to be writing for your own records with the idea that I also want to play this with 8 of my closest friends? And is that a different process for you?
I think the songs will always come first, and that usually is like there are arrangements that Nick and I come up with. That was one of the more fun parts of With, was that we were giving people, you know, like tracked drums to grid and having them be recreated. Like that's why we had to get people with such awesome chops. So I'm not sure. Like it'll always be in the back of my mind. Like maybe we'll do this again. But with love are really special things that I don't think that we could. Like particularly now when we go back out on tour, if we're able to do that. I'm not sure we're going to be able to do it just from a financial standpoint.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a terrible idea money-wise.
Yeah. So these two are like just really, really special, kind of one of a kind experiences that I'm just so grateful for having had.
I think the other thing is like one of the reasons it's just the two of us is that when we're writing, we're not thinking about instrumentation.
Yeah.
At all. You know, we just try to follow what the song wants to be. And then because of the way our band is set up, it can be anything it wants to be. We don't have to worry about a trumpet part needing to happen. You know what I mean? Like each thing can just be its own thing. I think one side effect of doing the big band was that now it feels like each tour can kind of be its own thing. Like we can respond to the material rather than writing to the medium, if that makes sense.
It does. Was there anything, I'm just curious, this just occurred to me, anything that the musicians playing the instruments kind of looked at you and went, what were you thinking? I cannot recreate this with an instrument. Because
no, never. Everyone was always like, yeah, I'll do that.
Oh, there was a lot of like, why'd you make this decision? There was a lot of
that. And also and also
that was very musical. Good job.
A lot of like me being like, oh well, you have to make we need a little ding sound right here, you know, and everyone being like, why? And me being like, well, that's
worked better when we put it in. I don't know.
That's it's an important part of the song.
Just once,
you know. Also, like, you know, Shatz or Meg would totally be like, yes, I'll put a ding right there. That sounds great.
Yeah, it was in the blueprint. Put the ding in. There you go. So I am curious, you guys, whether you realize it or not, and maybe it's just me projecting, again, in preparing to talk to you about this project, I've been struck by how much community means to you guys, or appears to mean to the band, in terms of you went and found your friends and people to do the with band, and then we went into this time where people couldn't see their friends, but you found ways to reach out through the streaming series, which even with its title is, you know, what it was, From Us to You with Love. That's very community minded. And the podcast, which I loved the podcast, Shaking Off the Numb. It's short little, it's like hanging out with you guys in parking lots and porches. It's really great. It's all very community minded. Tell me a little bit about, because we are talking about the new record With Love, which is, for everybody who doesn't know, an EP, technically six songs from Free Love reinterpreted by the With Band. So it's different parts of the Sylvan Esso journey coming together for this, physically available in record stores. And we're going to see some of it in just a little while. What was it like to get that community together, and was doing it during COVID? And because I've seen disclaimers where you said this was done with COVID protocols, quarantining, masking, all of that was done. Was that harder to do and to figure out than actually taking that band on the road?
Yeah, I think so.
Well,
isn't it?
We are, I mean, I feel like I should preface this by saying we are extremely lucky to have a fantastic road crew who take care of most of the logistics of the road without us even realizing that something was stressful. If I was our tour manager, I would probably have something to say.
You're probably totally right. Yeah, because now like COVID's done the thing where like all of the buffers that we usually have in so that we don't see any conflict at all and just get to concentrate on being musicians. Those are all gone now.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Thank you to our road crew and everyone that we work with. We love you. Yeah. But the court also, we were lucky because North Carolina was a testing ground for testing.
Yeah, so we were one of the first places that had really quick. We had rapid tests before a lot of other states. They were readily available. We were like a test market for us.
Yeah, we had rapid tests 4 months in, so it was quite easy to like fly people in, get them tested, have them like go to a garden for a couple hours and then come to the studio.
Yeah, we had a team we work with write up a set of ways we could make it safe for everybody, and then it was a lot of effort for everybody, the band and the crew included, but you know, it was rules everybody could follow, and it meant that we got to have this like magical time together.
So real quick, you mentioned North Carolina, and I believe the event was recorded at a fairly special venue in North Carolina, Haw River Ballroom. And I feel like we should address that you took this venue, this performance space that didn't get to be used in its true purpose it still hasn't been for almost a year, and you turned it into a recording space. And I think that's a really nice, you know, let's be goofy with themes, reflection of community and what, you know, what is available and around. Can you just really quickly, I'll mention it again, the record is in record stores starting today, but tell me about the space you chose to record it in.
The Haw River Ballroom is so special. It's in Saxe-Baja, and it's right next to the Eno River, which
The Haw River.
The Haw River.
Hence
oh, Cox. Oops. Darn.
The Haw River Ballroom, adjacent to the Haw River.
Yeah.
Now we get a blooper reel for our conversation. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Beautiful river, no matter the name.
Beautiful river.
We can all agree on that.
Owned and operated by wonderful, wonderful people. Shout out to Heather Lagarde. We love you, girl. We miss that place. We were fortunate enough to play a couple of shows there.
Way back.
Yeah, in the early days of the band, and we've missed it ever since. So it was an absolute joy. Also, just to get to, because we were trying, COVID protocol was also part of it. The Haw River has such a beautiful dance floor, and we knew that we wanted to be socially distant and in a circle. So in order to be able to have a visual team or like a film crew we needed enough space, and the hall was perfect for that.
Well, and also you mentioned community earlier, and I think Heather, who is one of the people who runs the hall, like she's kind of the head person there, has always been somebody that we've looked to as a huge community organizer amongst musicians and artists here in North Carolina. So it was just kind of it was a natural pick because we know them so well and we love that place so much. But it also felt like it was all kind of part of the same song, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That's lovely. Well, you guys, I'm excited to see it later tonight. And I really appreciate you sitting down and talking. I really appreciate, and I'm just going to say on behalf of all the indie record stores across the country, I really appreciate the fact that your projects always come to indie record stores. You were gracious enough to do throw a dance party at a record store in Durham, Chaz's Bull City. That recording of the dance party, by the way, lives on our website, recordstoreday.com. It's a lot of fun. So everybody check that out this weekend. So thank you very much. Congratulations on 3 projects in 12 months. It's pretty exciting stuff. Good job. Maybe take a nap. I don't know, something like that. But really, thanks very much. We really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to hearing the record.
Thanks so much, Carrie.
Yeah.
Hope everybody enjoys watching it.
Mm-hmm. Have fun.